What's going on, everybody? Let's talk jobs data. ADP payroll report comes out yesterday. Not good. Negative 32,000 jobs. Unprecedented, or at least almost unprecedented. Looking through some historical stuff as I'm doing some research for making this video. I'm like, so when's the last time we had a negative November jobs report? Only happened one other time, November 2020. This little thing, I don't know if you guys remember, COVID happened, and we got like a negative 500,000. So obviously, huge outlier, black swan event, whatever you want to call it, once in a lifetime, hopefully. So other than that, though, since they've been reporting this data since 2001, never had a negative November jobs report. So that's unsettling for what it's worth, I guess. Obviously, you personally, are you that worried about it? Hope not. Hope you're not one of the people that lost their job over this reporting period. But besides that, not the biggest deal, but not positive. I'll tell you that. Especially because within the report, leading the way to get a negative number, besides that they missed expectations where we were anticipating like 40,000 growth, 40,000 jobs gained. Negative 120,000 jobs lost for small business. So between 1 and 50 employees, basically, losing 120,000 jobs, not great. Obviously, the everyday people, the regular to small businesses, the most common businesses around, are taking the brunt of the economic situation we're dealing with here in the United States. So not positive, not good. We had a little bit of stock market uncertainty yesterday. I don't think that's the biggest deal, honestly. This is, I think it's more important that it is the first time this has happened. Meanwhile, obviously, ADP keeps coming out with their numbers, but we're missing jobs data from last month during the shutdown during October. They just didn't report it, the government data. Who knows? We'll see if we get this month's later on. But we have a Fed decision coming up here real soon about rates. This is, I believe, if you know better, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think it's correct to say this is the last data they're basically going to get, the most up-to-date data they're going to get before the Fed has to make their rate decision. And it's not a good one to go off on. I think it's pretty much already expected. Everyone's expecting a cut, probably another quarter point, 0.25%, and we'll see that happen again. I think that's what's anticipated. Everybody's betting on that. We'll probably see that. Maybe because of this jobs data, I don't know. They're going to lean into a 0.5 point cut. Probably not. Powell's big on wait and see, so I'm assuming he's going to say wait and see as well on this one, and we'll go from there. But the fact that we've never had a negative number, and overall just looking through and kind of taking a quick look and looking at the averages, we're averaging normally through a November 145,000 jobs gained over the last 20-some years. And obviously a negative read is way off that. And we're getting topsy-turvy bullshit out of the White House as far as what's coming out of there. The government data, like I said, not being released. Not a good sign, I would say. I think that is a bit of a scary thing where it's like, oh shit, this is so bad, we're just gonna kind of make up an excuse and we'll just not release it and then hope for the best. Hopefully that everybody doesn't freak out too bad and we'll just play it by the seat of our pants, I guess, and go from there. Now, with everything, every time I talk about it on the channel, it kind of gets annoying to say, but like, you gotta wait and see, and we'll see. I mean, normally when we go into recession and all these things, it's not called for months to years afterwards, where they go back, look through all the data, and they go, oh, yep, we were in a recession that whole time. Meanwhile, your politicians are telling you everything's great. I know we were talking a little bit on here for like Black Friday. The spending was technically up. Everybody's spending more money, but is it really? Because I've definitely seen, at least the trope or the understanding is the richest, like the top 10%, are spending more than they ever have, while the rest, the 90% underneath of them, have to make cutbacks. So basically, the richest people are living great. All their assets are through the roof. It's game time, party time. Everything's fun and awesome. Meanwhile, everybody else has to cut back because inflation, cost of living, affordability crisis that is the United States right now is hitting their pocketbook, so they got to cut back. I think that's about perfectly summarized. I was watching a little Breaking Points with Crystal and Saga, and he's talking about the only buddy seeing real gains here, and we've talked about it on the channel, is stock market things, but also niche inside of the stock market in the S&P 500 is like the Mag 7, your Nvidias, your Amazons, Apple, these tech companies that are running off the back of AI and the hype behind AI. I don't know. You can argue with me about it in the comments whether it's actually a real gain in a net gain to the worth of these companies, or really just kind of a hype train. I think it's quite a bit of hype driving their stock value up, but it doesn't really matter. That's what it is. Mag 7 exploding, the rest of the stock market kind of stagnating, and they kind of drag everybody else up with them to bubble levels, if you want to call it. However you want to say it, that's what it looks like from the outside. I think it's not obvious, but it's definitely, you could read it that way. Let's say it that way. And the problem is with these companies, the people that make money off these companies, these tech companies, and this is the point Sagar was making, was basically the only people that are making money off these companies are stockholders, shareholders, the high ups in the company, maybe their employees if they get value, like stock compensation packages and things like that. So as these companies explode in value, they don't really spread the value in that way. There's no jobs being created. I mean, there is some, but not that many, especially with AI. If anything, we're losing jobs, net jobs lost. This isn't like construction or manufacturing where you have people involved in building something, really, a product. NVIDIA, as far as I know, designs everything here, but outsources all the manufacturing of all their stuff overseas. So you're not seeing like regular people benefit from these stock prices of these huge companies going through the roof. Nothing helps you, I guess, if that makes sense. And it definitely doesn't help me because I don't own any NVIDIA, except for, I guess, in some ETFs I own and things like that. That's fine. In my retirement account, maybe I'm benefiting a little bit, but overall, not too crazy. And this isn't really, I think he was making a valid point here too, is where he's like, this isn't what you want the economy based off of. Obviously, the more consolidated we see the stock market get, a stock market crash maybe isn't the end of the world for everybody, but the precipitations of a stock market crash and the economic fallout afterwards is definitely bad news for everybody. Everybody will feel it a little bit to varying degrees, I guess, but you will feel it eventually. And this consolidation at the top, these top 7 companies just taking off like a rocket ship and living in their own world as far as the bubble of high stock prices is not a positive thing for the American economy overall. As you consolidate it, it's kind of I think you could make the argument that it's the bigger they are, the harder they fall problem. And who knows when we'll see it, if we'll see it, the AI crash, however you want to call it. I don't think it's that far off. And these job numbers are just another, throw it in the bin of economic indicators calling out the support, the foundation of the economic system here is on shaky footing at best, I would say. And I mean, as we go into wintertime and go for a couple more months, maybe we'll see more. And maybe I'm wrong and we pull out of it and they pull out perfectly, hit the soft landing, and we never see any downturn, no recessions ever called, and it's all sunshine and rainbows. But I doubt that'll be the case. So, I don't know. You let me know what you think. Leave a like on the video if you got something out of it. I'd appreciate it. Subscribe to the channel. Dislike it if you didn't like it. Tell me why. And catch you guys tomorrow.